Hey you guys, this is thnx, and I'm coming at you guys with a video about my review of the game. I'm not trying to be a critic or anything, but that's my favorite show and I just had to come at you guys with a video about it. Okay, first off, I waited a few days to actually do a review for the simple fact that I wanted to let it marinate with you guys, like what happened or whatever like that. So this review is for all you guys who have seen it, and some of the guys who haven't, because I have a couple friends who weren't able to see it. So I'm just kind of doing a review for all you guys out there. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I put a timestamp on my video for the simple fact that I recorded this video prior, but it was so long. And I really don't like to do all editing and all that stuff right now because I'm not really familiar with how to do it right now. So I put a timestamp on my video so I know how much time I have and I won't run over. And plus I'm working from my webcam, so it's not like a digital cam and I can't really see from there how much time I have. Anyway, let's just get right into it. Alright, I'm gonna talk about Melanie and Derwood last because they're like the meat of the show. So I'm gonna really talk about them last. Okay. Let's start with Malik and T. Okay, you guys know who T is, right? Of course you do. T is Malik's assistant. Well, was Malik's assistant. Alright, you guys. T has now, 2 years later, become a businessman. He has food trucks, and they go to like construction sites and all that stuff and sell food there. So anyway, like chicken boxes and all that good stuff, So yeah, so T has become a businessman. He no longer works for Malik, but Malik still like uses him as though he's like his assistant or whatever, and T's like, no, I'm not your assistant anymore. I resigned like several times, go find somebody. Anyway, and kudos to T for definitely finding his voice and finally standing up to Malik. Anyway, so alright. So, with that, T has also, started dating this woman, and, they look so cute together, and you're just like, oh, finally, somebody to love T, because T is such an understated character, but he does so much for Tasha and for Malik, so, but finally, he got somebody. Okay, let's just leave that for a second, put a pin in that for a second. Okay, let's move over to Malik. Malik has started to sleep with the Sabres owner's wife, which is played by Megan Good, you guys. Anyway, Malik has started to sleep with her and all that stuff, and it's crazy because Malik is going to ruin his career if the owner ever finds out. Just saying. Alright, so yeah, so anyway, Malik ends up, a lot of stuff happens, and Malik ends up sleeping with T's girlfriend, which I thought, or just messing with T's girlfriend, which I thought was kind of crazy. It was after a party. Malik was really, really drunk, and he went over to T and said, hey, you need to drive me home. And T's like, I'm not your assistant, you need to call a cab. So the girlfriend steps in, and she said, T's girlfriend steps in and says, hey, I'll drive you home. I got to go study anyway. So next day, let's fast forward to the next day. Malik, T shows up at Malik's house. Remember, Malik was getting a house built in the last episode, the last seasons. He was, he had bought a loft and was waiting for his house to get built. So now in this season, his house is now built and he's living there. Anyway, T goes to the house, finds Malik in the jacuzzi and hot tub, whatever, and there is the Sabres owner's wife, and they're sipping on some champagne or whatever, and they're in the pool, whatever. In the jacuzzi or whatever. And then all of a sudden you see a head pop up off to Malik's right. So you're sitting there like, okay, and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, it's T's girlfriend. Yeah, I said it was T's girlfriend. You guys, I was upset. I was like, wow, finally T found somebody, and she is just such and such. I'm not going to use the bad word. Such and such. So, so you're sitting there like, wow, Malik, great. Malik's being Malik, but not good. Not to T, of all people. Like, not T's girlfriend. Like, T has been there for you forever, and you're really going to be like that with his girl? Alright. But it's also her fault because she did not have to sleep with him. She did not have to mess with him, blah, 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 blah. You know, was upset. Alright, you guys. So let's move on to Tasha. I'm not going to really say much about Tasha Mack. Tasha Mack is now dating, seeing this younger guy, Dante, and he's played by Terrence J from BT's 106 Park. Now, surprisingly, at first, I don't really watch 106 Park. Nothing against the show. I just don't watch it. But, you know, I do watch shows. I mean, you know, I do watch BT. I don't know, for some reason, I just don't watch 106 Park. I haven't watched it. Anyway, so it took me a minute to recognize who he was, or whatever like that, because I didn't really pay attention. I was like, he looks familiar. And then I said, oh, wow, that looks like the dude from 106 Park. So it turns out that it really was him. Anyway, so he's playing Dante, and Tasha Mack is in, and he are dating, and all that stuff. So, you know, they've been dating for 6 months. So I'm thinking the first reaction to me when I see that is, wow, where's Rick Fox? Because if you guys remember in the last season, season 3, Rick Fox and Tasha Mack was dating. They were dating, and they were like really wanting to be together, and looked like they might want to get married in the future, and all that stuff. So I'm just sitting there like, wow, okay. So we'll probably find out what happened to Rick in the next few episodes, or maybe we won't, but we'll just have to stay tuned to see. Alright, so let's move on to Jason and Kelly. Alright, Jason and Kelly are still divorced. Kelly has started a reality show about ex-ballers' wives, or something like that it's called. So she's doing that whole thing, and Jason still has not been picked up by the Sabres to renew his contract, and he's like really bitter about it or whatever. So anyway, they're bitter together, and you know, I really thought their relationship was really cool when they were together. Like, I thought you know, because they worked through a lot of stuff, him being on steroids and stuff like that, and he worked out a lot of stuff. But they just have such hate for each other now. It's crazy. But, you know, it is what it is. And they also changed Jason and Kelly's daughter, Brittany. In the last season, I believe the little girl was probably about like 12 or 13. This little girl they changed her to looks like she's about 18, and you know, she just looks mad old, and I'm sitting there like, why? Like, they could have grabbed that little girl that was already playing the part of Brittany, or somebody that was 2 years older. Like, how did she jump from 12 to 18 in like 2 years? Like, that's impossible. Like, that don't happen in real life. Like, you know. Alright, and finally, what you've all been waiting for, let's talk about Derwin and Melanie. Okay. Derwin and Melanie are still married, you guys. Yay! So excited. I love that they're still together. It's so great. You know, they've broken up and got back together like millions of times within the last 3 seasons that they've done. And I'm just so ecstatic about them being married and all that stuff. So anyway, it's you know, Derwin has become a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with within the you know, within his career, and he's making a lot of money, and a lot of ads have signed him, like Nike and things like that. They've all signed him to be like their spokesperson and all that stuff. So anyway, at a photo shoot with Melanie and Derwin, you know, at the end of the photo, they was doing like a magazine cover or something like that, and at the end of the photo shoot, Janae was dropping off the son. So she sees this cute little bag that Melanie's sporting or whatever, and she's like, hey, where'd you get that from? Did they give it to you? Blah, blah, blah. Did you buy it? And she's like, oh, you know, it was just a gift or whatever from the magazine or whatever. They were giving me this, blah, blah, blah. So she said, oh, that's cute. So Derwin goes with Janae to take the son out to Janae's car to get his little diaper bag. So Tasha's putting all this stuff in Melanie's head, like, hey, guess what, you know, she just went with y'all got, blah, 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 all this stuff. So, alright, let's fast forward to Melanie and Derwood being in the house. Derwood has, like, this little meeting or something to go to. He really doesn't want to put a lot of responsibility for the kid onto Melanie because, you know, he knows how she feels about it. So, you know, but it's been 2 years and Melanie's like, hey, you know, it is what it is. He's practically my son anyway, too. So, he leaves DJ, which is Derwin Jr., DJ with Melanie, and Melanie decides, hey, guess what, she's got for you guys, remember that. She decides to do a DNA test, so she sends the cotton swab, off to the hospital where one of her friends is working to do a DNA test. The girl calls Melanie and says, hey, guess what, that's not his kid. So, I'm all excited, you guys. I'm sitting there like, yes, that's not his kid. Finally, 2 years, finally find out the truth. Yeah, that was short-lived for about 5 seconds, you guys. And I'll tell you why in a couple seconds. So, okay. You know, they find all that stuff out. Melanie cannot keep her mouth shut, so before she tells Derwin, she tells, Tasha and Kelly. Tasha and Kelly are still not talking because, remember, Kelly is still upset because Tasha broke up her marriage or whatever. So they're still not talking. Tasha's a little afraid of Kelly, which we never saw before. It was always, I'm going to cut you, I'm going to cut you, I'm going to kill you, to Kelly and to everybody else. But, you know, she's never showed that, I'm afraid side. So, yeah, she was a little afraid. You guys should have seen her sit on that bench looking around to see if, Kelly was coming. Anyway, so, you know, she's all excited. I'm all excited. I know a lot of you guys were excited about that not being Derwin's baby. And Janae could exit stage left. You know. It might look right in the camera, but I was actually going left. You know. Yeah. Alright. So, anyway. Yeah, so all that happened, and, you know, Melanie finally tells Derwin, hey, I did a DNA test, it's not your, you know, it's not your kid. Well, before she says that, he's like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So instead of her hushing her mouth and just shutting up right there, she tells him, it is not your kid. You guys, I was like, Melanie, shut up. That's exactly, I said, shut up. If you don't just shut up. Didn't he say he don't want to know? You should have waited until he asked you, and then you wouldn't have been in this mess, okay? So, anyway, he stops talking to her for a couple of days. He doesn't come home for a day or so like that. So, he's at Janae's house one day watching their son at Janae's house, and Janae comes back, and, he says, you know, is that my, he said, what is that? And she has a black bag. And she said, oh, you know, it was they were having a sale on this bag, blah, blah, blah. Well, the whole significance of the bag was that, it was the exact same bag that Melanie had, but in a different color. So, I mean, that kind of told Derwin that what Melanie was saying was right about, I mean, you know, because Melanie did say to him, hey, she just wants what we had. So, like, it just kind of told the story, if you will, about it. About her possibly wanting what they had. Anyway, so, he finally goes back home, and he's, like, crying and all this stuff, and Melanie's like, oh my gosh. So, I'm really running out of time, you guys, so I'm going to just kind of wrap this up a little bit. So, they end up talking, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward a couple days, they're in the kitchen cooking, and Melanie gets another call. It's from the same girl who did the DNA test, and she said, I hope you did not tell your husband yet. And Melanie's like, why? And she said, oh, because I did the test over and over, and it really is his son. I've been running on fumes, so basically, I'm sorry. So, Derwin says, hey, who was that? She said, oh, it was just sunbeam stuff. So, I think she is kind of ruining her relationship right there by lying. I'm that's the end of my review, you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys in the very, very next video. And until then, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye.